And thanks to Anna for having me. I think I'm just about the only person here in a suit among the startups, so that must mean I'm the banker, and my brief is to tell you about how we're going to afford the 100-year life. I'm pleased to hear that. I see those charts about how many people there'll be aged 120 to 44. I don't know if you're like me, you work out the maths and go, will that be me or am I gone by then? So it's good news to know we're all going to last longer, although I do need to eat less of Charlie Costello's Pielago estate bacon if I'm going to make it, I reckon. So the question is, can we afford it? It's great to say we're going to live that far, but what's it going to look like? So, cutting straight to the chase, the question we're all asking ourselves is, well, what am I going to use to have that cruise or whatever? And it used to be the case, I suppose, that we thought about one great big holiday maybe after we all retired at 65, and unless you're one of the people, and I don't think there are any here, who are on the public service defined benefit scheme, it's going to be a question of what we've actually saved for ourselves versus perhaps what the government might give us. Or even if it is what the government might give us, that's not going to meet our expectations in terms of the life we live today. So these are numbers from an organisation called ASFA, which is the Australian, essentially the Association of Superannuation Funds. And they've got down there, the black bar at the bottom is what the age pension represents on an annual basis. Above that, the red and then the blue, if they've rendered properly, is what ASFA considers you need to have either a modest or a comfortable life. So it'll be a question of what sort of holidays you want, how much you want to invest in nice quality food and wine, or are you actually eating toast and sardines every day? So the main takeaway from that graph is there's a big gap between what you'll get from the government, if that's where you end up, and what you might think you want compared to how you live today. So the question is, from a finance perspective, what can we do about that? There's the life expectancy charts there. Plenty of people will have these today, so I won't dwell on those. But from an innovation perspective around this, if we agree that the age pension isn't sufficient, what is there going to be that will help us with that? There are various products out there. People will have heard of annuities, which is essentially, you lock away some money and you get an annual amount of money back from that. They're not popular at the moment. There's a range of reasons in regulation why that's the case. And there are other more interesting products emerging, like pooled annuities or deferred annuities, where that will kick in at the point at which your own capital runs out. So your annuity might not start until 80 and it'll go until you die, and it's being partially paid for by people who thought they were going to need it, but they dropped off the twig at 70. So that kind of pooled concept isn't one that's at all in play in Australia right now today, but if you look back to the previous charter and the pension and how it works, you might wonder whether that's the sort of way we need to go. Clearly, a lot of policy debate around things like the home, reverse mortgages, unlocking equity in what is essentially Australia's biggest financial asset is clearly going to be something that's unavoidable. As much as politicians rail against it now, there's no way that that amount of wealth can be left locked up without you being able to access it in order to close some of that gap that we saw on that previous slide. So inflation is the other thing. Inflation protected assets, so that CPI doesn't eat away at the nominal amount of money you've got, is another thing. Most of these products don't exist today at any kind of scale in Australia, but we'll need to find a regulatory, political, financial and community acceptance of this sort of thing, otherwise there simply won't be enough money. Quickly change tack. You've got the money, you've done the right thing with annuities or whatever, how are you going to actually spend it? Something we're spending quite a bit of time on now in my space. I'm on the board of a couple of fintechs that we've bought into, really thinking about consumer-directed care, and started with the NDIS, of course, and there are experts, I see Craig and people in the room who know about that, but it's extending into home care, aged care and so on, and the concept is consumer-directed care. So how will I build an ecosystem of people around me so that I don't end up like that lady in the previous slide? It isn't going to be about the government giving service providers a chunk of money to look after me when I reach a certain age. It's going to be about, here's an amount of money that we're going to make available to you, and you're going to have the choice and control of actually determining what support you need. So we're building a platform that works in that concept, where I'm going to find and pay my own service provider that you might find on an e-marketplace, or it could be the person down the road. So I've got a young neighbour and what I really need is to get to the shops once a week. I'm going to actually employ that person to be my shopping assistant rather than waiting for the government to get Uniting Care to do that for me. So building those communities and having ways to transact using money that either comes from our own accounts or from government's accounts is where kind of fintech and startup are thinking. So quite a different concept from financial products. These are more financial platforms, but actually the real concept I'm trying to get across to you is, where's the money coming from? We've got the money from whatever source it might be. What systems and automation and technology might we put in place to help you actually spend it? So that's about the size of it basically. Do your financial planning and think about how much you've got, and then work out what systems you can use to control or spend. Thanks very much.